यशोदानन्दन व्रजनरञ्जन
यशोदानन्दन व्रजनरञ्जन
यशोदानन्दन व्रजनरञ्जन
यमुनातीरवनचारी
यमुनातीरवनचारी
यमुनातीरवनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दन व्रजनरञ्जन
यशोदानन्दन व्रजनरञ्जन
यशोदानन्दन व्रजनरञ्जन यमुनातीरवनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय स्मात् परं सपरित्राजगताय भगवान की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय नवाचार्य श्री
हरे कृष्ण। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य
प्रभु नित्यानंद
प्रभु नित्यानंद
श्री अद्वैत गदाधर
अद्वैत गदाधर
श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा
शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद।
हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा
हरे
कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So we'll continue reading this today. Our reading
New
from
new chapter.
chapter 8. Okay. So I'm going to open the chapter 8 for us. So here is chapter 8. Chapter 8 is titled as Attaining the Supreme. So I'm going to read first sloka and then Kamini Mataji, you can read next one. Bhagavad Gita, we are reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 8, sloka number 1. Arjuna Vacha. You can repeat after me, Mataji.
Arjuna Vacha.
Kim tad brahma kim adhyatmam.
Kim tad brahma kim adhyatmam.
Kim karma purushottama.
Kim karma purushottama.
Adhibhutam cha kim proktam.
Adhibhutam cha kim proktam.
Adhidevam kimuchyate.
Adidevam kimuchyate.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Shri Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation. Arjuna inquired, O my Lord, O Supreme Person, what is Brahman? What is self? What are the fruitive activities? What is this material manifestation? And what are the demigods? Please explain this to me. Purport. In this chapter, Lord Krishna answered different questions from Arjuna, beginning with what is Brahman. The Lord also explained karma, fruitive activities, devotional service, and yoga principles, and the devotional service in its pure form. The Srimad Bhagavatam explains that the Supreme Absolute Truth is known as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. In addition, the living entity, the individual soul, is also called Brahman. Arjuna also inquired about Atma, which refers to body, soul, and mind. According to Vedic dictionary, Atma refers to the mind, soul, body, and senses also. Arjuna has addressed the Supreme Lord as Purushottama, the Supreme Person, which means that he was putting these questions not simply to a friend, but to the Supreme Person, knowing him to be the supreme authority, able to give definite answers. So, we will understand this and the next one. I'll say some prayers. Om Jnanitimirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chachurupurmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namah श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदामह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सागरललितां तां तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् श्रीगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्तांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमस्ते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुवस्य च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। So this chapter is beginning with some questions. So Krishna ended chapter 7 explaining that one has to fix his attention, meditation onto Krishna. Now Arjuna is asking question to addressing Krishna as Purushottama, right? Supreme person. Now Arjuna is not saying, oh Krishna. No, he's saying, oh my Lord, Purushottam. Purushottama, you're the supreme. Because he learned in chapter 7 that Krishna is the supreme. So he's rightly saying. He's asking question, what is Brahman? Because he was learned in Vedic knowledge, so he has knowledge of this word Brahman. So he's asking clarification. Can you tell me what is Brahman? And then what is self? Because sometimes people talk about self-realization and self. And then he's asking what is fruitive activities? And then what is this material manifestation? Right? And what are the demigods? Because Krishna in chapter 7 stressed a lot on demigod worship, not worshipping demigod, not required. If you worship, you'll go to the demigods. So all these questions came up in his mind and he's asking clarification. Not from a friend, but from a supreme person, Purushottama. Because he knew that if you are a supreme person, then basically you should be able to give answer to these questions, very clear answers, right? So we'll go to second sloka. Mataji, you can read.
अधियज्ञः कथं कोत्र देहेऽस्मि मधुसूदन प्रणयकाले च कथं येज्ञो असि नित्यात्मभिः who is the Lord of sacrifice and how does he live in the body, O Madhusudana? And how can those engaged in devotional service know you at the time of death? Lord of sacrifice may refer to either Indra or Vishnu. Vishnu is the chief of primal demigods, including Brahma and Shiva, and Indra is the chief of the administration demigods. Both Indra and Vishnu are worshipped by Yajna performers, but the Arjuna here asks who is actually the Lord of Yajna, sacrifice, and how the Lord is residing within the body of the living entity. Arjuna addresses Lord as a Madhusudana because Krishna once killed demon named Madhu. Actually, these questions, which are of the nature of the doubts, should not have arisen in the mind of Arjuna because Arjuna is a Krishna's conscious devotee. Therefore, these doubts are like demons. Since Krishna is so expert in killing demons, Arjuna here addresses him as a Madhusudana, so that Krishna might kill the demonic doubts that arises in Arjuna's mind. Now the word Prayan Kale, Prayana Kale is the verse is very significant because whatever we do in life, we will be tested at the time of death. Arjuna is is very anxious to know of those who are constantly engaged in Krishna consciousness. What should be their position at the final moment? At that time of the death, all the bodily functions are disrupted and the mind is not in proper condition. Thus, disturbed by the bodily situation, one may not be able to remember the Supreme Lord. Maharaja Kula, Kula, Kulshekhara is great devotee, says, my dear Lord, just now I am quite healthy and it is better that when that I die immediately so that the swan of my mind can seek entrance at the stem of your lotus feet. The metaphor is used because the swan, the bird of the water, takes pleasure in digging into the lotus flower. It is sporting proclivity is to enter in the lotus flower. Maharaja Kuleskhera says to the Lord, now my mind is undisturbed and I am quite healthy. If I die immediately, thinking of your lotus feet, then I am sure that my performance for your devotional service all that will become perfect. But if I have to wait for my natural death, then I do not know what will happen because at that time the bodily functions will be disrupted. My throat will be choked up, and I do not know whether I shall be able to chant your name, but let me die immediately. Arjuna questions how a person can fix his mind on Krishna lotus feet at such time. Should I read more? Should I read more?
No, we can discuss. So this is very important question because Krishna in chapter 7 ends like even someone at the time of death, if can remember Krishna, Krishna says then you attain my nature. Now Arjuna is asking, how can one remember Krishna at the time of death? Right? Because at the time of death, our body doesn't function properly and our mind is very disturbed. Our throat is choked up. We have no energy in the body. So at that time, it is very hard to remember forcefully certain things. Everything will come naturally, what we did whole life. So that's the next sloka going to come out, that what we remember at the time of death. Because the question is how we can remember things at the time of death. So then there should be a process that which allows you to remember Krishna at the time of death, right? So that's such a sloka 3. I can read Mataji this and next one you can read. Okay. Okay, Mataji? Okay. 8.3. Sri Bhagavan Vacha Acharam Brahma Param Acharam Brahma Param
Swabha.
Swabhavo. Yes, you can repeat.
Aksharam Brahm Paramam Brahm Paramam Swabhavo.
स्वभावो अध्यात्म उच्यते
आध्यात्ममुच्यते
भूतभावाद्वा करो
भूतभावोद्भवकरो
विसर्गा कर्म संगीता.
विसर्गकर्म संहिता.
Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, the indestructible, transcendental living entity is called Brahman, and his eternal nature is called Adhyatma, the self. Action pertaining to the development of the material bodies of the living entity is called karma or fruitive activities. Brahman is indestructible and eternally existing. Its composition is not changed at any time, but beyond Brahman there is Para-Brahman. Brahman refers to the living entity and Para-Brahman refers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The constitutional position of living entity is different from the position he takes in the material world. In the material consciousness, his energy, his nature is but in spiritual consciousness, Krishna consciousness, his position is to serve the Supreme. When the living entity is in the material consciousness, has to take various type of bodies in material world. This is called karma. That is called karma or varied creation by the force of material nature. In the Vedic literature, living entity is called Jivatma, Brahman, but he is never called Para Brahman. The living entity Jivatma takes different positions. Sometimes he merges into the dark material nature, and sometimes identifies himself with matter, and sometimes he identified himself with superior spiritual matter. Therefore, he is called Supreme Lord's marginal energy. According to his identification with material or spiritual nature, he receives material and or spiritual body. In the material nature, may take a body from any of the 8,400,000 species of life. But in his spiritual nature, he has only one body. In the material nature, he is manifested sometime as a man, a demigod, animal, beast, bird, etc., according to his karma. To attain material heavenly planets and enjoy their facilities, he sometimes performs sacrifice, yajna. But when his merits are exhausted, he returns to earth again in the form of a man. This process is called karma. In Chandragya Upanishad describes the Vedic sacrificial process. In the sacrificial altar, five kind of offerings are made into five kind of fire. The five kind of fires are conceived of as the heavenly planets, clouds, earth, man, and woman. And the five kind of sacrificial offering are faith, the enjoyer of a moon on the moon, rain, grains, and the semen. The process of sacrifice. In the process of sacrifice, the living entity makes a specific sacrifice to attain a specific heavenly planet and consequently reaches them. When the merit of sacrifice is exhausted, the living entity descends to earth in the form of a rain, then takes on the form of a grain, and the grain are eaten by men and transformed into semen, which is omens impregnates a woman, and thus the living entity again attains the human form to perform sacrifice, and so repeat the same cycle. In this way, the living entity perpetually goes and comes and goes on the material path. The Krishna conscious person, however, avoids his sacrifice. He takes directly to Krishna consciousness and thereby prepare himself to return to Godhead. Impersonalist commentator on Bhagavad Gita unreasonably assume that Brahman takes the form of a jiva in the material world, and to substantiate they refer to the chapter 15, verse 7 of the Gita. But in this verse, the Lord also speaks of living entity as the eternal fragment of myself. The fragment of God, the living entity, may fall down into the material world, but the Supreme Lord, Achyuta, never falls down. Therefore, this assumption that the Supreme Brahman assumes the form of a jiva is not acceptable. It is important to remember that in Vedic literature, Brahman, the living entity, is distinguished from Para-Brahman, the Supreme Lord. So Krishna is explaining here that this transcendental living entity, that is we as a soul, is called Brahman. Brahman. All of us are Brahman, but we are Brahman only. So then you can say, what is difference between me and the God? Because God is also called sometimes Brahman. So the difference is that we are Brahman and the God is Para Brahman. He is the Para Brahma. He is the beyond us. So he's separate. Now our nature is called Adhyatma. That is called Adhyatma, the self. So we are all by nature we have an individuality. We are self. And attaining action pertaining to the development of body. So this soul, which is called Brahman, and its nature is Adhyatma, gets a body. Like right now, I have this human body. You have the human body. Somebody has animal body. So this body, how this soul gets this body? But how Krishna is saying, whatever karmas, actions we do, leads to development of the body we get. Right now I have human body. So in the past life I did something which gives me human body. Okay. Somebody, why I have this body? I may had a body where only one leg was there, only one hand was there, or maybe only one eye was there, right? Possible. There are people who don't have eyes, there are people who don't have legs, hands. So that body is different. That's a defective body, right? Or somebody has a body who is very intelligent. So this body is called machine. It's called yantra. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says in chapter 18, yantra rurani mayaya. This is the instrument. So different people have different machine depending on how much they can pay for. Like we have different cars. People purchase different type of car, different type of house, different type of mobile phones, laptops, or specs depending on how much you can pay. Somebody may have a specs with a golden frame, right? Gold frame. And somebody may have a specs of plastic frame or whatnot, maybe without frame, right? Just so likewise we get different bodies based on our action karma. So that those actions are called karma, fruitive activities. So Krishna is replying that here, and Prabhupada is explaining that to us. So we'll read fourth. Mataji, you can read.
अधिभूतं क्षरो भावः पुरुश्च अधिदेवतम् अधियज्ञो अहमेवात्र देहे देहभूतान्वर. O best of embodied beings, the physical nature, which is constantly changing, is called Adibhuta, the material manifestation. The universal form of Lord, which includes all the demigods, like those of sun and moon, is called Adideva. And I, the Supreme Lord, represented as a super soul in the heart of every embodied being, am called Adiyagya, the Lord of sacrifice. The physical nature is constantly changing. Material bodies generally pass through 6 stages. They are born, they grow, they remain for some duration, they produce some of products, they dwindle, and then they vanish. This physical nature is called Adibhuta. It is created at a certain point and will be annihilated at the certain point. The conception of universal from the Supreme Lord, which includes all the demigods and their different planets, is called Devita. And at present in the body along with the individual soul is Super Soul, a planetary representation of Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna, the Super Soul, is called the Paramatma or Adhyajya and situated in the heart. The word Eva is particularly important in the context of this verse because by this word the Lord stresses that the Paramatma is not different from him. The Super Soul, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, seated beside the individual soul, is the witness of individual soul's activities and is the source of soul's various types of consciousness. The super soul gives the individual soul an opportunity to act freely and witnesses his activities. The function of all these different manifestations of the Supreme Lord automatically become clarified for the pure Krishna consciousness devotee engaged in transcendental services of the Lord. The gigantic universal form of uh, Lord called Adi Devata is completed by the neophyte who cannot approach the Supreme Lord in his manifestation as Super Soul. The neophyte is advised to complete the universal form, the Virat Purusha. Those legs are considered the lower planet, those eyes are considered the sun and moon, and those head is considered as upper planetary system. One more? Should I read one more?
Yes,
Should
Mataji.
I? Okay.
Yes, yes.
अंतकाले च मामेव सर्वमुक्त्वा कलेवरं य प्रयाति सद्भावं याति नात्रस्य संशय. And whatever and whoever at the end of his life quits his body, remembering me alone at once attains my nature. Of this there is no doubt. In the verse, in this verse, the importance of Krishna consciousness is stressed. Anyone who quits his body in Krishna consciousness is at once transferred to the transcendental nature of Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord is the purest of pure, purest of pure. Therefore, anyone who is constantly Krishna conscious is also the purest of pure. The word Smaran, remembering is important. Remembrance of Krishna is not possible for the impure soul who has not practiced Krishna consciousness in devotional services. Therefore, one should practice Krishna consciousness from the very beginning of the life. If one wants to achieve success at the end of the life, the process of remembering Krishna is essential. Therefore, one should constantly, in, incessantly chant the Maha Mantra Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare Hare,
Hare Hare.
Chaitan, Hare Hare. Lord Chaitanya has advised that one be as tolerant as the tree Taror Iva Nuna. There may be so many impediments for a person who is chanting Hare Krishna. Nonetheless, tolerating all these impediments, one should continue to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare, so that at the end of one's life, one can have the full benefit of Krishna consciousness.
Thank you, Mataji. अंतकाले च मामेव स्मरमुक्ता कलेवरं या प्रयाति सा मद्भावं याति नास्त्य अत्र संशयः. No doubts. Krishna is saying, at the end of his life, quitting his body, remembering me alone at once attains my nature. Right? So this is the form. This is our summary actually. This remembering Krishna, antakale chamameva, right? This at the end of our life, we should be able to remember Krishna. But the problem is, we don't know when is our end of life. That's a mystery. Like we don't know. And the previous sloka we were reading, Maharaj Kulushekara, a great deity, he was young person, a king of the planet Earth. Kulushekara is the king of the planet Earth. And he was saying, "Oh my Lord Krishna, right now I'm young. My body is working well. My mind is very fixed. So why don't I quit my body now? Because at the time of death, it is very painful situation. The time of death, first of all, our body doesn't work. Our throat is choked because we cannot speak. It's like cough and mucus completely choked. We can't talk much. And then our mind is disturbed because we are feared. Oh, I will die now. What will happen? So many things I have to finish. And what will happen to things which were dependent on me? Who knows who will take care? and our mind is not fixed. So remembering Krishna, it will be very hard, right? So that's why while we are young, or our mind is fresh and clean, we should try to practice remembering Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada is explaining that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave the best process to remember Krishna is to chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So this is a practice. This is not like one time affair, okay? That's why anyone who is in touch with Srila Prabhupada's this Krishna Consciousness Society, International Society for Krishna Consciousness, ISKCON, Prabhupada has emphasized daily chanting 16 or around 1700 names times Hare Krishna mantra, which comes to about, if you multiply 1700 multiplied by 108, it will come around 1900 or something. I don't know, you can do math. 108 multiplied by 16 and multiplied by 16. How much the number? 16 multiplied by 16 multiplied by 108. How much? Did you get it now?
Calculator. Calculator is required for that.
Okay, let's do that. Is anybody can do it for me?
27,648.
Yes. So that is the number of times daily we should chant Krishna's name. It takes 2 hours. Takes 2.5 hours or 3 hours if you're young, new. But if you practice regularly, if in a year you will be able to do in 2 hours. So this is the minimum Krishna, Prabhupada has given us. And even if we are not able to do that much, at least 108 times daily, one round, So what, if you do 108 round times daily, Hare Krishna mantra, you are doing around 1700 times the name of Krishna, you're chanting daily. This is the only way to remember Krishna at the time of death, because if we have not practiced throughout our life, how we can remember something which we want to? Because we never did it. So how? At the time of death, it is very hard. So let's see what Krishna gonna explain more about this mystery. Okay. I can't hear you. You can unmute. You can unmute, Mataji.
Shall I
Yes.
read Prabhuji?
Yes,
Yes.
you please.
Okay. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyayate ante kale vakara tam tam evati kaunteya sada tad bhava bhave vaibhava bhavani bhavitaha. Whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, O son of Kunti, that state he will attain without fail. Purport. The process of changing one's nature at a critical moment of the death is here explained. A person who at the end of his life quits his body, thinking of Krishna, attains the transcendental nature of the Supreme Lord. But it is not true that the person who thinks of something other than Krishna attains the same transcendental state. This is a point. This is a point we should note very carefully. How can one die in the proper state of mind? Maharaja Bharata Although a great personality thought of deer at the end of his life. So in his next life he was transferred into a body of a deer. Although as a deer he remembered his past activities, he had to accept that an animal body. Of course, one's thought during the course of one's life accumulate to influence one's thoughts at the moment of the death, so that this life creates one's next life. If in one's present life one lives in the mode of goodness and always thinks of Krishna, it is possible for one to remember Krishna at the end of one's life. This will help one be transferred to the transcendental nature of Krishna. If one is transcendentally absorbed in Krishna service, then his next body will be transcendental, spiritual, not material. Therefore, the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, is the best process of successful change, changing one's state of being at the end of one's life.
You can read next one also. That is related, Mataji.
Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mama anusmara युद्ध युद्ध्या मैं अर्पिता मनोबुद्धिर मम एवस्य य असंशयः. Therefore, Arjuna, one should always think of me in the form of Krishna and at the same time carry out your prescribed duty of fighting. With one's activity dedicated to me and your mind and intelligence fixed on me, you will attain me without doubt. Purport. This instruction to Arjuna is very important for all men engaged in material activities. The Lord does not say that one should give up his prescribed duty or engagements. One can continue them and at the same time think of Krishna by chanting Hare Krishna. This will free one from material contamination and engage his mind and intelligence in Krishna. By chanting Krishna's name, one will be transferred to the supreme planet, Krishna Loka, without a doubt. Further,
Yeah, you can read. Maybe Sarvesh Prabhu, you want to read? You are able to read? Hare Krishna. Let's check Sarvesh Prabhu if he wants to read. Otherwise, you can read.
okay.
Sarvesh Prabhu ji, Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
पढ़ पाएंगे आप? You want to read?
Yes, yes, Prabhuji. Slok
Yeah,
number
okay.
87.
8.
8. अभ्यास योग युक्तेन चेतसा नान्यगामिना परमं पुरुषं दिव्यं याति पार्थानुचिंत्यन. Translation. He who meditates on me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his mind constantly engaged in remembering me, undeviated from the path, he, O path, is sure to reach me. Purport. In this verse, Lord Krishna stresses the importance of remembering him. One's memory of Krishna is revived by chanting the Mahamantra Hare Krishna. By this practice of chanting and hearing the sound vibration of the Supreme Lord, one's ear, tongue, and mind are engaged. This mystic meditation is very easy to practice and it helps one attain the Supreme Lord. Purusham means enjoyer. Although living entities belong to the marginal energy of the Supreme Lord, they are in material contamination. They think themselves enjoyers, but they are not the Supreme Enjoyer. Here it is clearly stated that the Supreme Enjoyer is the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his different manifestations and plenary expansions as Narayana, Vasudeva, etc. The devotees can constantly think of the object of worship, the Supreme Lord, in any of his features, Narayana, Krishna, Ram, etc. by chanting Hare Krishna. This practice will purify him at the end of his life. Due to his constant chanting, he will be transferred to the kingdom of God. Yoga practice is meditation on the super soul within. Similarly, by chanting Hare Krishna, one fixes his mind always on the Supreme Lord. The mind is fickle, and therefore it is necessary to engage the mind by force to think of Krishna. One example often given is that of the caterpillar that thinks of becoming a butterfly, and so is transformed into a butterfly in the same life. Similarly, if we constantly think of Krishna, it is certain that at the end of our lives we shall have the same bodily constitution as Krishna. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah, you can read next one, Prabhuji.
Okay. कवि पुराणमनुशासितारम् अणोरणीय समनुस्मरेद्य समरस्य धातारमचिन्त्य रूपम् आदित्यवर्णं तं सः प्रस्तात्. Translation: One should meditate upon the Supreme Person as the one who knows everything, as he who is the oldest, who is the controller, who is smaller than the smallest, who is maintainer of everything, who is beyond all material conception, who is inconceivable, and who is always a person. He is luminous like the sun, and he is transcendental beyond this material nature. Purport: The process of thinking of the Supreme is mentioned in this verse. The foremost point is that he is not impersonal or void. One cannot meditate on something impersonal or void. That is very difficult. The process of thinking of Krishna, however, is very easy and is factually stated herein. First of all, the Lord is Purusha, a person. We think of the person Rama and the person Krishna. And whether one thinks of Rama or Krishna, what he is like is described in this verse of Bhagavad Gita. The Lord is Kavi, that is, he knows past, present, and future, and therefore knows everything. He is the oldest personality because he is the origin of everything. Everything is born out of him. He is also the supreme controller of the universe, and he is the maintainer and instructor of humanity. He is smaller than the smallest. The living entity is 1/10,000 part of the tip of a hair, but the Lord is so inconceivably small that he enters into the heart of this particle. Therefore, he is called smaller than the smallest. As the Supreme, he can enter into the atom and into the heart of the smallest and control him as the super soul. Although so small, he is still all pervading and is maintaining everything. By him, all these planetary systems are sustained. We often wonder how these big planets are floating in the air. It is stated here that the Supreme Lord, by his inconceivable energy, is sustaining all these big planets and systems of galaxies. The word achintya, inconceivable, is very significant in this connection. God's energy is beyond our conception, beyond our thinking jurisdiction, and is therefore called inconceivable, achintya. Who can argue this point? He pervades this material world and yet is beyond it. We cannot comprehend even this material world, which is insignificant compared to the spiritual world. So, how can we comprehend what is beyond? Achintya means that which is beyond this material world, that which is our argument, logic, and philosophical speculation cannot touch, that which is inconceivable. Therefore, intelligent persons avoid avoiding unless argument and speculation should accept that what is stated in scriptures like the Vedas, Bhagavad Gita, and Srimad Bhagavatam and follow the principles they set down. This will lead one to understanding. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So the last one, I think those are very clear. So I'm not going too much explanation. Prabhupada is very, if you're focused and reading nicely, Prabhupada is describing very clear. So if you have a question, you can ask at the end. This is the last sloka. Who wants to read for today? So we're going to read this last one, 10th, and then we'll end the call and have a question answer.
Hare
Mitra
Krishna.
Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
प्रयाणकाले मना सकालेन भक्त्य भक्त्ययुक्तो योग बलेन चैव भ्रुवोर् भ्रुवोर्मध्य प्रणाम एवस्य सम्यक् सतं परम परुषम उपैति दिव्याम. One who at the time of death fixes his life air between the eyebrows, and by the strength of yoga with an undeviating mind engages himself in remembering the Supreme Lord in full devotion, will certainly attain the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. Purport. In this verse, it is clearly stated that at the time of the death, one must be fixed in devotion of the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. For those practiced in yoga, it is recommended that they raise the life therefore between the eyebrows to the Anjana chakra. The practice of Sat Chakra Yoga, including meditation on the six chakras, is suggested here. A pure devotee does not practice such yoga, but because he is always engaged in Krishna consciousness, at death he can remember the Supreme Personality of the Godhead by his grace. This is explained in the verse 14. The particular use of the word yoga balena is significant in this verse because without practice of yoga, whether sat chakra yoga or bhakti yoga, one cannot come to this transcendental state of being at the time of the death. One cannot suddenly remember the Supreme Lord at the death. One must have practiced some yoga system, especially the system of bhakti yoga. Since one's mind at the death is very disturbed, one should practice transcendence through yoga during one's life. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So we'll review. Today we read from text 1. So I'll read again. Arjuna inquired, O my Lord, O Supreme Person, what is Brahman? What is the self? And what are fruitive activities? What is this material manifestation? And what are the demigods? Please explain this to me. Who is the Lord of sacrifice? How does he lives in the body? O Madhusudan, how can those engaged in devotional service know you at the time of death? The third, Supreme Personality of God had said, the indestructible transcendental living entity is called Brahman, and his eternal nature is called Adhyatma. The self, action pertaining to the development of material bodies or living entities is called karma or fruitive activities. O best of embodied being, the physical nature which is constantly changing is called Adibhuta, the material manifestation. The universal form of the Lord, which include all demigods, those of the sun and the moon, is called Adideva. And I, the Supreme Lord, represented as Supersoul in the heart of every embodied being, is called Adhyajana, the Lord of Adhiyagna, the Lord of sacrifice. Fifth, and whoever at the end of his life, quits his body remembering me alone, at once attains my nature. Of this there is no doubt. Whether whatever state of being one remember when he quits his body, O son of Kunti, that state he will attain without fail. Therefore, Arjuna, you should think always of me in the form of Krishna. At the same time, carry out your prescribed duty of fighting. With your activities dedicated to me and your mind and intelligence fixed on me, you will attain me without fail. He who meditates on me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his mind constantly engaged in remembering me, undeviated from the path, he, O Partha, is sure to reach me. One should meditate upon the Supreme Person as one who knows everything, and he is the oldest, who is the controller, who is the smaller than the smallest, who is the maintainer of everything, who is beyond all material conception, who is inconceivable, who is always a person. He is luminous like sun, and he is transcendental beyond this material nature. One who at the time of death fixes his life air between the eyebrows and by the strength of yoga, with an undeviating mind, engage himself in remembering the Supreme Lord in full devotion, will certainly attain to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Right? So, this remembering Krishna at the time of death, why it is important? Because whatever we remember at the time of death, we will get the same in the next life. So, basically, this whole life which we are living is the preparation for the final exam when we have to leave the body. Because at that time, when we are about to leave this body, whatever is in my mind, the Krishna will provide the same thing in the next life. It's easy, right? It's not so hard that we can predict in this life what will be my next life. So, what kind of life I'm living right now will decide what is the next body I'm going to get. So if I'm living in godly consciousness, I'm in living in mode of goodness, the next life will be either demigods, or if I whatever I'm remembering. If I'm remembering Devi Mata, I'll go to Devi Mata planet. If I'm remembering Ganesha, I'll go to Ganesha planet. Remembering Shiva, go to the Shiva. If I remember Ravana, I'll go to Ravana's planet. Right? It is very easy. So we cannot blame Krishna. We have a choice. Right now, we have a choice to decide what I should remember. If I'm remembering money, building, motor car, family, I'll get the same. I'll be born. If I love my house, I'll be born as a chipkali in our house. Or a mosquito or a rat, because you love that house so much that you don't want to leave the house. At the time of death, you're thinking, oh, what will happen to my house? What will happen to my house? You become a cat, dog, or a rat, or whatever, a small living entity, or an ant in that same house, because you want to live there. You love that building. So this happens. This happens, you'll see. So that's why Krishna is emphasizing that remember me so that you come to Krishna Loka. Why? Because there we don't have to change this body. This body is changing, it's painful. We are getting aged, we get disease, we are fearful. What will happen? What, what will happen to my body? Is this going to function long term? But this does not function. At some point, it breaks down, and that's called death when it doesn't function. And then we have to evacuate the apartment immediately because our contract is over from this body. You have to just vacate it. Now you go, leave this body. So whatever we prepare for it, we get next life. And therefore, Prabhupada is saying, why don't prepare for the best? Krishna. By chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. If we practice this mantra chanting daily, Krishna is guaranteeing that if you just endeavor, you will attain me. You just try. And when the time of death, our body will not function, Krishna will help us to remember Krishna. Because he knows a whole life this person has been trying to remember me. Let me help him at the time of death, because now he or she is helpless. He tried when he was nice, but at the time of death, what I can do, right? So Krishna is looking for our attempt, endeavor, not perfection. Even we just try, try. It's like some student, if they're very sincere, but they're not intelligent, they're sincere, but they're very obedient to that teacher. They try to do everything what teacher is teaching, but their mind is not very sharp. So what teacher does, even if they are not very intelligent, he will pass by mercy, like grace mark. Okay, you pass because you have been very nice person, very nice student. You tried hard, but I know, maybe you cannot do nice tuition coaching, or maybe you cannot purchase that book. Maybe you cannot afford, or in your life you had a tragedy, you couldn't read properly. Your life had a problem. But let me pass you. You go to the next class with grace. With grace marks, right? So Krishna is like that kind teacher, is more kinder than the teacher, because he's providing right now everything to us. He's ready to provide everything to us if we want, whatever we want. He's saying, whatever you remember at the time of death, I'll give you that. Such a nice teacher, right? Just remember, whatever you want, I'll give you. If you have a friend and who says, oh, I'll give you everything what you want, You will not have a best friend than that person, because and the person is capable of giving. It's not just, okay, I'll give everything you want, but I don't have anything. What kind of nonsense you're talking? This person is owner of whole manifestation and saying, I'll give you everything what you want. So why don't I should follow? And he's saying, and in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, just chant Hare Krishna in the age of Kali. In the age of Kali, there is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way. He says, Kalau nasteva nasteva gatirannatha. Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam Kevalam, Kalau nasteva 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 gatirannatha. So in this age which we are living, forget, don't talk about Vedas and all. Those age is gone. Right now, talk about in this your next 50 year, 10 year, 20 year of life. Don't give me example from this Veda, that Veda. That is for different age. Right now, in 2025, April, what is useful? Don't tell me in 2000 there was something nice. Who cares? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave for this yuga, Kali Yuga, this Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam Kevalam, chanting this Hare Krishna mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Anybody chant this with meditation is doing bhakti yoga. It's called yoga because you are connecting to Krishna with Krishna. Is yoga means connection. So bhakti means devotion, right? It's a faith. So you have a bhakti towards person which is Krishna, and you are doing meditation. You are focusing your mind by force on the sound vibration. It's called yoga. In yoga, what you do? You sit down, you stop your breathe, and you're trying to, okay, my mind, don't go anywhere, don't go anywhere, don't go anywhere, don't go to next window, don't go to my phone, right? You just, yes, very hard, right? It still goes there. So, but this is called passive meditation. When you take a breathe and stop it, it's called passive, because you're trying to stop it, everything. But when you say Hare Krishna, there is a tongue involved and ear hearing and sound. So it's hearing. And it's called active meditation because you are active. You are saying Hare Krishna. You cannot sleep because you're talking. In that meditation, you can sleep. And after 5 minutes, everybody's sleeping in that room because they become relaxed and sleep. Even chanting also, you become relaxed and sometimes you sleep. That happens. But that is, you come back to your awareness and you're like, okay, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. This is so simple. You don't need money. You don't need anything. You don't need even health. Even at the deathbed, you can take your bead bag. Even if you don't have anything, you can just in your mind. We think so many things every time without even speaking. So somebody can say, "Oh, at the time of death, my mouth will not work." What? In your mind, you can think Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. In your mind, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram. And Krishna as a super soul is watching everything. Even not in mind, in your heart. Sometimes you can say, oh, in my mind is not functional. Oh, it disturbed. But in your heart, you can remember Hare Krishna. And Krishna is sitting as a super soul hearing that. Because you can say, oh, if I don't say, Krishna may not hear. No, Krishna can hear from your heart because sitting as a super soul in your heart, in our heart. Right? Correct? So there is no impediment. We have no excuse to practice this yoga. But Hatha yoga, if your body is not good, you cannot practice Hatha yoga because you need body. But for Bhakti yoga, you need body, but even your body is not very good, you can still do this Bhakti yoga by just chanting Hare Krishna mantra. So I'll end speaking here. Any questions, comments? We'll take it. Hare Krishna, Bhagavad Gita ki jai, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj.
No
Okay.
questions.
Yes. No more. All right. So we'll do one round of chanting. Right? Ready? Everyone is ready?